Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Today, we're going to make cake. I'm going to show you a simple cake recipe. It's just simply called yellow cake. And the reason it's yellow is because it has egg yolks in it. If you want a white cake, leave out the egg yolks and increase egg whites, and you will get a white cake. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to show you how to make it without any special equipment. You don't need a fancy mixer, expensive equipment. You just simply need a spatula, you need your wooden spoon, and I have a whisk here. And that's really all you need. The ingredients are very simple. So let's get started. The first thing I have here is I have got 3 eggs. And I'm just going to take those eggs and I'm going to whisk them up. The point of this is we want to break down the eggs, but we also want to start with our liquid ingredients, and then we're going to add in our dry ingredients. So we have 3 eggs. If you don't have 3 eggs, you can use 2 and a little bit of water to increase the liquid, but I'm going to incorporate the 3 eggs according to the recipe, and I have my recipe here. Now, full disclosure, I don't like baking cakes. I've never enjoyed baking cakes. I bake them, and this is going to be cupcakes, but I don't really enjoy it. But I still do. It's like I don't like baking cookies, but I do bake cookies. So I think if you're going to do it, put your animus aside and just say, oh, okay, whatever, I'm going to bake this cake. Okay. It's not that I don't mind baking, I just don't love baking cakes. All right, so I've got my eggs whisked up. They're not fancy, right? Now, into the egg mixture, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of milk. I don't have any milk right now. I have almond milk, and it just so happens I have vanilla almond milk. So I'm going to use that. And coincidentally, I forgot to buy vanilla. Can you imagine? So, hey, this works pretty good. Happy with that. Okay. So I've got that in there, I've got my milk in there, and now I'm going to pour in 1/2 cup of melted butter. A little at a time. This butter is still warm. That's why I added my cold milk ahead of time, because, you know, if you add something hot to your eggs, you will have scrambled eggs, and that is not very pleasing in a cake. Okay, got that in there. Oh my gosh, is this hard? Oh, this is so hard. I'm just sorry to give you such hard recipes. Okay, here we go. We're just going to make sure that that's incorporated really, really well. Now the next thing we're going to add is we're going to add our dry ingredients. All right. Now, what I have here is I have a cup. I want to check to be sure. I have 2 cups of flour, and I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And don't worry about the ingredients. I will put the recipe in a PDF file on the Simple Food, Simple Life Facebook page, which I always add a link below to that. And you can go there, and I'll put it on there, and you can just download this recipe for yourself. Isn't that convenient? It is. It's no big deal. You don't have to join a group or anything. Just follow the link and you'll find the recipe. Okay, so now I have 2 cups of flour. I've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and I did put a pinch of salt in here. And so now I'm going to add this, and I have a cup of sugar. And just so you know, I sifted the flour, because this is just all-purpose flour. I sifted the flour and the baking powder. I think it makes a better cake. You don't need anything fancy for that, really. This is all I use for sifting. This sieve. That's it. I picked that up at the Dollar Tree for $1. I do have a flour sifter, but I didn't want to drag it out. Okay, so now we're going to incorporate this, and we're just going to incorporate it a little bit at a time. Just take your time with this. It's not that big of a deal. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to, I think I need my whisk. I'm going to make some cupcakes out of these. And I was in Hobby Lobby, and they had some 4th of July cupcake liners, Independence Day stuff for 66% off. So I got some fancy schmancy liners for way cheap. And so I picked up several packages of those simply because it was cheap, and I don't care if it's Christmas and they have 4th of July stuff on there. That's fine. I don't care. I'm good with it. So now I've got plenty of cupcake liners. Now, the reason I'm doing the cupcakes is because I can put them in the freezer. I can bake them and freeze them, or I can not bake them and freeze them. And if you're wondering how to do that, not bake them and freeze them, I do have a video on that, and I will put the link down below. Yes, you can put your unbaked batter in the freezer and get your cupcakes all ready and freeze them if you want to. So, okay, this is coming along. Now, it's a cake. It's not muffins. We want to get this as smooth as we can. So, just get yourself a whisk. You know, they do have all this stuff at the Dollar Tree. You can buy them for $1 and get yourself a whisk. This came from Pampered Chef years and years ago. I've had this for, well, how long now? I don't know, 20 years. But anyway, I like it. Gets a lot of good use. So, see there? See how it's smoothing out? And I'll tell you, sifting that flour really, really does help smooth this out a lot. So, okay, I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste here because I want to make sure we're all good and that it tastes vanilla-ish. Now, frankly, that tastes like cake. Now, you know what? If you don't have the almond milk, that's not a big deal. The recipe actually calls for milk. And depending on the milk you use, the milk is what makes it tender. The extra eggs, it makes it more rich and it makes it tender. This is a nice tender cake. It's not going to be necessarily as light because of the milk and the egg yolks. It's not going to be as light as some of your cake mixes, but you know, they put additives in there to make the cake mixes lighter and less dense. But now you can see how nice this is. That's a pretty nice batter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the lined cupcake liners. I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees. That's what you need to preheat your oven to. And the cupcakes have to be baked for 10, maybe 12 minutes, depending. If you want to put them, if you want to make cake, this will make 2 8 or 9 inch rounds of cake. It'll make a 9 by 13 cake. It's just all in what you want to do. But I like to put them in the freezer, and then that way I can pull them out whenever I need them, because it's just me here. And it's pretty easy to whip up a little bit of frosting and frost the cupcakes. Okay? All right. So for the sake of brevity, I'm not going to show you I'm not going to go through the process of baking these for you, but I will post some pictures of the finished product and show you what it looks like. It's really a nice cake. I think you're going to appreciate this recipe. Okay? All right, listen. I love you, and you know that I do. Go to the Facebook page and you can download the recipe in a PDF. I try to make them recipe card size for your convenience, and I also just try to put the recipe on one side. So, okay, all right, let me know how you like it. I welcome your comments. Please like, subscribe, and share. And just remember that little is much when God is in it. So, go bake that cake. All right, love you guys. Bye-bye. I wanted to show you real quick what these look like. Now, I bake these in my tuna fish cans that I make mini cakes in, and the tuna fish cans hold a cupcake liner perfectly, and also these tuna fish cans will go in the dishwasher and they clean up very nicely. Anyway, I want to show you this. This takes about, because they're a little bigger, it takes about 15 minutes or so. And I just want to show you that this yellow cake, it doesn't get real brown on the top like some cakes do. This keeps that kind of a light color, but you can see when I press on the top, they're done, okay? So I'm going to continue to bake these, and I hope that you will give this recipe a try. All right, bye. I'll talk to you later.